Something happened in less than 24 hours. Not externally at first. No dramatic event, no sudden miracle, no announcement from the universe. Yet everything shifted. The way people looked at me, the way situations unfolded, the way reality responded. And it started with something so small, it almost felt meaningless. I dropped one identity. Not my name, not my job, not my relationships. An internal role I didn't even realize I was still playing. The moment it collapsed, reality followed. Not gradually, not symbolically, practically, tangibly, immediately. Because identity isn't just who you think you are. It's the signal reality listens to. And once that signal changes, the field has no choice but to reorganize. Stay with me. Because if you recognize this identity inside yourself, you may not need years to change your life. You may need hours. Most people believe transformation requires effort, discipline, repetition, and time. They assume change is additive. New habits, new routines, new affirmations, new behaviors layered on top of the old self. But real transformation is subtractive. It happens when something stops. An identity ends. And the strange part? You don't notice the identity until it's gone. We don't experience ourselves as identities. We experience them as normal. Normal reactions. Normal expectations. Normal emotional responses. But normal is just familiar conditioning. And every identity is a contract with reality. A silent agreement that says, this is who I am. This is how life treats me. This is what I can expect. Reality honors contracts with terrifying precision. Here's what most people never realize. You are not waiting for life to change. Life is waiting for you to stop being someone. Quantum physics has a word for this: state collapse. When the observer changes, the observed must follow. An identity is the observer. So what happens when one identity dissolves? The field reorganizes instantly, because there is nothing left to stabilize the old pattern. Let's slow this down. Identity is not personality. It's not preferences. It's not style or aesthetics. Identity is your emotional position in reality. It's who you believe you are in relation to life. The one who has to try harder. The one who waits for validation. The one who prepares endlessly before acting. The one who expects resistance. The one who assumes nothing works easily. These identities don't feel like beliefs. They feel like common sense. And that's why they're so powerful. Because the body memorizes them. Your nervous system doesn't respond to logic. It responds to identity. So every morning, before thought, before intention, before motivation, your body becomes someone. That someone determines what you notice, how others respond, which opportunities appear, how time behaves around you. This is not metaphor. Your emotional state alters perception. Perception alters behavior. Behavior alters probability. And probability is where reality lives. For years, I didn't realize I was still carrying one specific identity. Not dramatic, not traumatic, subtle. The identity of waiting for proof, waiting for reassurance, waiting for signs, waiting for permission, waiting for confirmation that I was on the right path. On the surface, it looked responsible, grounded, rational, but energetically, it was an identity of delay. Waiting is not neutral. Waiting is a frequency. It tells the field, I am not ready. I am not certain. I am not the one yet. And reality responds with more reasons to wait. Because the field reflects coherence, not desire. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Reality does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being while wanting. So what happened in those 24 hours? I didn't manifest anything. I stopped being someone. Specifically, I stopped being the version of me that needed reality to move first. No ritual, no visualization, no affirmation loop, just a decision at the identity level. A quiet internal sentence. I no longer occupy the role of the one who waits. That's it. And the moment that identity dropped, something strange happened. My body relaxed, not excited, not euphoric, neutral, calm. as if a background tension had turned off. And when the nervous system exits anticipation, it enters coherence. Coherence is where the quantum field becomes responsive. Within hours, conversations shifted, responses changed, opportunities surfaced without force. Not because I tried, because I was no longer signaling hesitation. This is where most manifestation teachings fail. They focus on emotion without identity, thought without embodiment, desire without coherence. But identity is the organizing principle. Neuroscience confirms this. Your brain predicts reality based on self-models. When the self-model changes, predictions change. When predictions change, perception changes. When perception changes, reality reorganizes. The brain isn't reacting to reality. It's generating it. And identity is the template. This is why dropping one identity can feel more powerful than years of effort. Because effort operates inside identity. Release operates outside it. The old identity doesn't fight back loudly. It dissolves quietly. And then the field adjusts. This is the moment people call luck, or synchronicity, or alignment. But alignment is simply the absence of contradiction. When who you are no longer conflicts with what you desire, reality has no friction. Think about it. Your future self isn't trying to become confident. They are not trying to feel worthy. They are not waiting. They simply are. And the field responds accordingly. This is the observer effect, not as theory, as lived mechanism. The observer isn't your thoughts. It's your identity state. Change the observer, and the wave collapses differently. This is why the shift felt instant. Time only exists where resistance exists. When resistance drops, time compresses. So the question isn't, what should I do differently? It's, who am I unconsciously still being? The one who braces? The one who explains? The one who justifies? The one who delays joy? Because once that identity ends, the timeline associated with it ends too, and a new one begins. Not tomorrow, not eventually, but immediately. You don't need to rebuild yourself. You don't need to improve. You don't need to add anything. You need to notice the identity you've been protecting, and let it go. Not through force, through clarity. The moment you see an identity clearly, it loses authority. And when authority dissolves, reality reorganizes. This is why everything changed in 24 hours. Not because I chased change, but because I stopped stabilizing the old pattern. And you can do the same. Ask yourself, honestly, without judgment, which version of me is still negotiating with reality? Which role am I unconsciously performing? The moment you stop playing it, the stage changes. Because reality is not solid, it's responsive, and it's listening. Not to your words, not to your hopes, but to who you are being right now. If this resonated, leave a comment. That identity is over, not as affirmation, as declaration. And if this space feels like recognition rather than information, subscribe. Not to learn more, but to remember faster. You didn't drop an identity, you dropped a delay, and reality responded accordingly.